Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Everything is Fine, Nothing is Ruined podcast. I'm regular host Hassan, joined by regular host Tristan.
That's me. I'm a regular host.
And folks, this week we are here to have another catch up on the X-Men. But before we get to that, we have a very special present for everybody, something that Tristan's been working on for few weeks now. He is going to do the Poke Rap, but he has replaced all 151 Pokemon with all of the X-Men.
Oh, Jesus.
So Tristan, take it away.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. X-Men. Fuck, what do I start with here? It goes in numerical order, right?
No, it's just like red. So it's like Venomoth, Poliwag, Nidorino, Golduck.
Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Magic, and Professor X. Jean Grey, who is also Marvel Girl, Wolverine, Juggernaut. And
what? Juggernaut's, well, okay, yeah, he's technically an X-Men. I guess I said X-Men, not mutants. That's
not even
fair.
Technically, he is currently part of the team. We'll get there. Juggernaut. My flow.
Now we're never going to get that platinum album.
No, hold on. No, I'm like, fuck, god damn it. No,
you're never going to become the real life Dazzler. She's the one that's like a celebrity, right?
Yeah, she's a celebrity, yes. Nightcrawler, Dazzler, Rogue, and Gambit.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, it works.
Magneto, Jubilee, Storm, and Maggot. There we go. Got there.
Forgot Maggot was an X-Men.
Yeah, he's still around. He's still kicking.
That's okay. All right. Because I gotta say, after weeks of practice, he just.
Well, you threw me off. I'm not accepting any blame here.
Okay, all right. Like, no, it's fair. You're right.
Like, I was starting. I was getting there. I had some flow.
Okay, all right.
Not great flow, but it was getting there.
Look, Tristan, that song doesn't have great flow in the first place.
No,
it is some 90s white person rap.
Yeah, it sure is. See, what I really should have done in preparation to do this song is to basically throw down just a big list of all the X-Men characters and just go off that. Just why not?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
we actually are seriously here to discuss the X-Men comics. So if I remember correctly, we left off.
Where did we leave off?
They were, I think, still on Krakoa doing sex cult, violating international law, and basically being the bad guys.
No. They were good. You know, the X-Men.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, they were gray areas. Like that's the thing with the X-Men, that they kind of made them.
They were exploding their enemies and threatening other nations.
Yeah, and the other nations did it first. I will point that out.
It's not good guy stuff.
Yeah, that's the point. It's not good guy stuff. It's supposed to be like the Krakoan era is very gray. Because, like, well, you know, there's bad guys here, there's good guys here. They all kind of want to work together for the greater good, but they are having a hard time doing that because these guys don't want to explode these guys' heads, but these guys over here want to blow some heads up. That's the Krakoan age. Also, there's a whole conspiracy, racism, etc. Not from the X-Men, but to them. Also from them sometimes. It depends on what's happening. Point is, The X-Men got very complicated in the Krakoan era. I think I left off with like the Hellfire Gala #2. I think that's where we left off.
Sounds right, I guess.
Or 3. One of the ones where it went all to shit. Yeah. So Hellfire Gala #3 goes totally badly, and like Nimrod shows up and just kills a bunch of
we talked about that.
Yeah, okay, good. So he murders a ton of X-Men wholesale, and like even he like goes after the big five that can bring people back to life. I believe he kills Elixir, which is like the core one. Well, Hope is the core one, she's the leader, but like Elixir's like the ones that's like you need him the most. Anyway, so that all happens, and Resurrection's now gone off the table. We're not doing it anymore because reasons.
Sure. There'll be no dead characters coming back to life in Marvel Comics.
I mean, give it time, right? But like the core reason for the Krakoan era was because of these 5 mutants working together to bring people back to life. So that is now off the table because one of them died, and you need that one person to do the thing. Great. The other thing that kind of happened was basically this all was predicated around the fact that Moira McTaggart was evil and working with Orcus, who was basically the big racist space-faring humans in the sky who had a sun base. Yes, they had a base in the sun. It was close to it, enough to like harness the energy, and they were essentially they have essentially at this point invaded Krakoa and kicked all the X-Men out, and then Professor X was like, okay, everybody scatter, because they were using Professor X to start killing X-Men, and so he basically had them do the rogue, I can't remember what it was called. It was like Red X, I think it was the fail-safe verbiage they used to basically like go catatonic, and so their minds wouldn't be affected. But he had also given this to Miss Marvel.
Hang on. Are you telling me like Red X is their code word? That what was it like? Like they're sleeper agents when that gets said?
Sort of, yeah. I can't remember if it's Red X. It's something like that. I can't. It's been a while.
I'm sorry, Professor Xavier. The best you can come up with your sleeper agent, keyword is just Red X. That seems really risky.
Again, I don't think that's the actual word. I'm using like a placeholder
I'm just,
here.
I'm just picturing somebody calling up tech support. It's like, yeah, click on the red X button.
Yeah.
It's like, I should have thought of that. Damn it, Scott. Damn it. I chose bad words. I don't know computers. I didn't realize red X's were common. Damn it.
Oh, now I have sleeper agents waking all over the place. I'm all catatonic. Ooh. I'm a bad Professor Xavier. Professor Xavier. Bad. Yeah. Speaking of himself. Anyway, so I can't remember what the code phrase was. It's something along those lines. It's got an R in the word. It's whatever. The point is, it's weird because it saves like your core team of X people. The ones who you're like...
Just the core ones?
Not just the core, but like a majority of like the ones from like, it's this like the ones you can think of from teams that represent specific teams. They all survive. They're good. With a few
Charles just playing favorites here is what you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
good guys.
Yeah, this is the timeline where like shit's all kind of weird and messed up, and we don't really know who's a good guy anymore because like at a certain point, Beast committed some war crimes in the name of Krakoa for X-Force. So, and Professor Xavier had these like fail-safe catatonic implants put into everybody's brains, and like if he was going to attack, this could just pop off and everybody's like those people are safe, but he only targeted certain ones and not all of Krakoa. So he essentially saved them and made the rest of them literally walk into a meat thresher. And I'm not lying. Like literally walk into a portal into a fucking slaughterhouse. Like they're blood everywhere.
I guess it would technically be a medical license for therapy been revoked yet.
I mean, they don't.
Surely he's not still legally allowed to practice after these things, right?
Charles Xavier? He hasn't been a therapist in a long time. Long time.
Okay, good.
He has a PhD, but I mean, like, you know.
Anyone could get those. That's easy.
Call it easy, but yeah, sure.
I've got 3 of them.
You got 3 PhDs? Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Share some.
He's paid university in Mexico. You can get him easy.
Ooh, okay. Anyway, so this happens. Eventually, the X-Men all band back together. They start a resistance force. They start fighting. Miss Marvel is like fully into the X-Men now. Miss Marvel is now a full X-Men member in these comics. I don't like it either. It's not a good fit. It's not a good fit in the slightest.
It kind of feels like it undermines the point of her character as, you know, immigrant character. Just not really sure where she fits in to just be like, no, she's an X-Men. It's like, so
she was born in New Jersey, so she's technically what's the word for it?
Her parents second generation. I forget how that works.
Whatever it is, her parents are immigrants, but she's not. Yeah. Dreamer is the optimal term for it in the United States, apparently. So.
Well, that's if your parents did not legally enter the country, which I don't know
really?
about her parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, they're legal. They're definitely legal.
She's not a dreamer.
Yeah, fair enough. Either way, second generation immigrant, I guess. However you want to put it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, she is now an X-Men as per the Krakoan age, where because she died in Spider-Man. They killed her in a Spider-Man book where she was a side character, and then brought her back to life in X-Men. And then they gave her own book during the Revolution era of Krakoa, in which she was essentially Miss Marvel, the New Mutant. And I was like, that's a whole fucking team. That's the team I like the most. What are you doing? Which sucked.
How old is she at this? Or is she still
at this point? She's 17, 18.
Okay. Parents are just cool with all this. Cool.
Yeah, actually, they are. They know better superheroing. So
no, I more so mean like, oh, you're still, a high schooler. Oh, you just want to go live on this island away from the rest of your family. Okay, yeah.
No, so she didn't do that. She definitely didn't just live on Krakoa.
Okay.
Because they had the portals, she just went back and forth. But even still, by the point that they had woken her back up and resurrected her, she was in the middle of like, shit is fucked right now, and we're resurrecting you as an emergency protocol because you were like the first in queue. So like, come on in.
Wait, hang on. She's not that like powerful. It doesn't seem like. Okay, all right.
It doesn't really work that way. It is literally a queue, like at this point they had lost the queue and she bounced in as like the first one, and it's just a whole thing. It's dumb. It's really fucking dumb. My point is, Miss Marvel shouldn't be a mutant. Like her whole thing is that she has the Inhumans, Terrigen Mist powers. And then they're also like, oh, but she also has mutant abilities. Can you guess what those mutant abilities are, Hassan?
Wait, they're not her, like, straight. Oh.
Nope.
What?
Nope. That's from the Terrigen Mist.
I don't know what you would combine with stretchy powers that wouldn't just either be completely useless and meaningless, or else make a like overpowered character in weird ways.
Let me tell you. So if I'm correct here, because it's been revealed and I didn't read these books because anything to do with Miss Marvel right now is just fucking sad. It sucks so bad. But from what I've read up on, they gave her hard light abilities from the TV show. So she has the embiggening stretchy abilities, as well as the hard light stretchy abilities. Yeah. Because that's how they did it in the TV shows. They gave her hard light constructs as opposed to making her limbs stretch around.
That,
cheaper.
To a certain extent, that kind of just sounds like you went and kind of said, hey, what if we just combine Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic into one character?
Yeah, that's kind of what they did. By accident,
cool.
Mind you, but yeah.
Awesome.
To be fair, Miss Marvel has always kind of been a bit of a weird, I'm not going to say plagiarizing character, but like she's, I mean, her origin story is essentially the exact same origin story as Static Shock from DC. So like, it's you know, don't worry about it too much. My point is, she's a mutant now, and that's weird. But so is Gwenpool, and that's a lot more interesting. But they literally have not done a single friggin' thing with Gwenpool. They left her. Like, she's in the background sometimes in X-Men stuff in Krakoa, and she's coming back in her own series pretty soon. I'm not sure if they're going to keep her a mutant or not, because she like rewrote herself into a mutant to like so she can keep relevance. And it's hilarious because when she did that, that was like 2-ish years before they did the Miss Marvel reboot as her as a mutant. And so like Gwenpool always kind of reflects what Miss Marvel is as well. It's a weird thing. She's like, I'll rewrite myself as a mutant. That way I'm going to stay relevant. And maybe I'll be in those X-Men books. And they did the exact same thing for Miss Marvel to keep her relevant. Because people were really liking the X-Men books and reading those. So they're like, yeah, of course we will. Anyway.
You could probably make some meta commentary about white women taking like gay and black nomenclature in some way and this reflecting that. I don't know.
I mean, not necessarily, because it was Gwenpool that did it first, and then it was Miss Marvel that came trailing along. And then
okay, I see.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, what I'm saying is basically like a lot of the times Gwenpool will do something and then Miss Marvel will do the same thing, but get
I get it. You're saying these immigrants can't come up with original ideas. I see what you're trying to get at.
That's not quite what I'm saying. It's not the immigrants' fault.
Make Krakoa great again, huh, Tristan?
That was never a thing, so no. I mean, they tried.
All right.
They couldn't get to like the first great, never let alone great again. Anyway, they got to a point where like, so they got to kill like Orcus and take Krakoa back, and they're trying their best, and they end up killing Charles Xavier, Moira Taggart. They don't kill Charles. Sorry, they fuck with his mind and they get him all. Yeah. Basically, Jean gets the power of the Phoenix back, and then this comes down.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's the only way out. It's the only way out. Man. It is such a corner right. Such a terrible corner right.
Please, just stop with the Phoenix already.
I will say this. We'll talk about this in a second here, but the fact that she got the Phoenix powers back did lead into one of the better solo books that came out of this whole thing, so we'll get there. Anyway, yeah, so they defeat Orcus, they destroy Nimrod, they kill Moira McTaggart, which sends her back into her timeline. Remember, she has weird timeline powers where she rebirths herself, because she's stuck all like Haruhi of Suzumiya, in the Endless Eight kind of thing. So she like will die and then come back to where she's born and gets her powers and this kind of stuff.
She have a good dance number at least?
Not as far as I've seen. Oh, no, she would actually, because I believe in one of those timelines, she did try to become a pop star. So, yes, she does have a dance number.
Okay.
Not a fun, like, one in the classroom with, like, a...
Oh, so Haruhi 1, Moira McTaggart 0.
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
Haruhi's actually also a god, so... It's that too. Anyway, point is... Moira was always kind of like her whole thing with her mutant ability was that she was going to reboot the timeline each time, and like until we got to the current timeline that we were witnessing and all that stuff. Anyway, things went bad, and the gates all closed. Krakoa blew up. We can't go back there anymore, and so the X-Men have to find new places to live, which means we get the X-Men from the Ashes books because Phoenix stuff.
So they're not gonna return to the X-Mansion?
Nope. That's long. Well, okay. Actually, I should say we do. It's been appropriated by, in like the Star Wars sequels where they have like a new Empire, New Order. It's called.
Yeah.
We get that in these books now where we have a new Orcus, and their main thing is they basically built they didn't build it. I guess they sort of did. They bought the X-Mansion and repurposed it into a massive, like, mutant prison.
Real dick move.
Yeah.
I respect it, though.
Yeah, right? That's basically what a lot of, like, the comics, when they come to that point and they realize what Orcus has done, they're kind of like, yeah, fair enough.
Also, every time you say Orcus, in my head, I'm just picturing Orko from He-Man, and it just makes it funnier.
Yeah, fair enough. More so, it's Orchid, but with an S.
No, I realize that. I just think it's better if the villain is Orko for some reason.
Fair enough. Anyway, that leads into the current state of affairs for the X-Men. So the X-Men team. Do you want me to start off with the core X-Men team, like the X-Men team? We also have changed writers. It's all different now.
Okay.
All this shit. So the core X-Men team. Once I get there. There it is. So it is currently being written by Jed McKay. With art by Ryan Stegman. Good artist. Jed McKay is also a local Halifax guy. I have several issues of his signed because he will just show up in my comic shop and just sign stuff sometimes. As you should. But the current team of the X-Men is Cyclops.
Checks out.
Psylocke.
Sure. Not a big fan, but whatever.
I like Psylocke, but she's different now, by the way, because they split the personality. Betty Brant split off from Quanon, which is the original character's name, but like because of Psylocke had Betsy Brant's like mentality in her brain, she was actually like Japanese Asian woman, but with a British accent. The whole thing. So then we also have Magneto, who is currently he's now wheelchair bound because of what happened in Krakoa, and he's having a hard time like maintaining his powers. But he's kind of there under the supervision of Cyclops to be like, don't mess around, because when he got rebirthed on Arakko, which is Mars, and during that he went a little nuts.
No, it's pronounced Arrakis, Tristan.
No, Arakko. It's a...
No, spice comes from Arrakis.
Yes,
I'm definitely certain on this one.
Right, this is not Dune. Frank Herbert has nothing to do with this. Although it probably kind of... It actually kind of does. If you really...
Are you sure? Because we're talking about people coming back and stuff. I think it is. I'm just
realizing how much this is Dune. Oh, man, this is a lot of Dune. I mean, I don't mind. I love Dune, so... Anyway... we have Magneto, who went a little crazy, but now he's got the helmet on, and he's back to being normal-ish, but his powers are out of control, so he's not allowed to use them.
Hang on. Whoa.
Way out
you can't say he's a main roster X-Men, but he can't use his power. What is he doing then?
They unleash him like a nuke. That's what they do with him. So basically, if they have a problem, we're like, okay, only Magneto can solve this. And he's like, well, I can't control myself. We know. And they just fire him in that general direction and go, unleash, do your thing. And then he basically like creates a crater.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of hilarious. Anyway, you also have Magic, who was formerly of the New Mutants. now in X-Men proper. And then Juggernaut, who's part of the team. Juggernaut and Magic are the best part of this team because they are like the two wreckers, and they're pitted almost kind of like in like a fun, like friendly rivalry with each other. So whenever they are on the page, it's the best time because like, oh, Juggernaut, I saw you ran through that wall and hit that guy real hard. I hit two guys real hard. Screw you, man.
It's just Gimli and Legolas.
That is what it is, yes. But like it's a lot of fun because it's just like they both have very little regard for like the lives of the people who they're fighting.
That's what you want out of the X-Men.
Yeah, the core X-Men team is kind of just a little fucked up. And also Beast. So Beast had his mind wiped, so he doesn't remember the fact that he committed war crimes. So he's actually back to like 90s Beast. Like this is like he forgets everything. It's a little awesome.
Were these secret war crimes?
No.
Or did the general public know about these?
The general public knew about them, yes. This is part of the reason why they sent like armed forces after Krakoa.
So like Google doesn't exist for him at all?
No. He knows the crimes he committed. He just doesn't remember them himself, and he's just trying to atone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's been told.
He's just sitting there just being like, no, I don't know, guys. Everything's been cool. I don't know why people are such dicks to us.
No, he knows.
Everybody's like, Beast, read this paper. I did what?
What? I imagine that's how it originally happened. But he knows, and like basically he's at a point where he is just trying to atone for those without really having the emotional gravitas behind that. So he's like, he's saying like, I kind of wish I felt bad about these things because I don't remember them, but I know I did them, so I feel bad that I did them. But it's a whole complicated muck. And then to run off the team, you have a new character, Temper. So I'll point out they actually introduced a new character per book, and Temper is the big one here. She has fire and ice powers. Not much to say about that. She's fine. Yeah. She's angry black lady with like fire and ice powers. It's
sure.
And then you have Glob and Zorn, and Glob is just kind of like Glob is just running around doing his Glob thing, just being a gardener. He's fun. And Zorn is, if you see Zorn, you know what Zorn does. He has a black hole in his head, or in place of his head.
Okay, not how that works, but okay.
I mean, it's an X-Men thing, so yeah, it can work the way it wants to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tristan, I think you missed a character though.
Who?
It's Strong Guy, the #1 X-Men.
Oh, okay. I got bad news about Strong Guy for you.
Okay. I don't know.
So Strong Guy's been relegated to Dazzler's roadie.
Oh no!
Yeah, sorry.
No.
I know.
No, I was like, you're gonna say he's dead,
no, he's fine.
He just hasn't shown up. Instead, it's literally the worst possible fate of we stuck him with Dazzler,
which is even worse because like
that is insulting.
I will point out they tried real hard with the Dazzler book, and some people liked it, and like I think that some of the stuff they did with the Dazzler book is fine. However, it is still a book where they try to. It's about music. It's a book about music, and like Dazzler has her performances, and the songs they wrote her are terrible, and you can't translate music into comics that easily. So the whole thing is just kind of weird, and like to have Strong Guy be like the head roadie / chief of security, that's like the best the book's got, to be honest. Because you can at least turn the page and go like, oh, Strong Guy's here. Finally. I'm sorry. He's like, hey. He at least isn't anything. Because they don't use him a whole lot, which is sad. Because like he's great. I love Strong Guy. He's fun. He's actually like one of the more like level-headed. He's basically like a like the like an X-Men dad at this point. He doesn't have any kids, but he's like your adopted dad. You know, just like giving out like little advice to you, like, oh, buck up, Buckaroo. You know, you'll get him next time, Slugger. kind of guy.
Well, it could have been worse if you told me they paired him up with Cable.
No, they wouldn't do that because they look too much alike.
Well, only when Rob Liefeld's drawing them.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Anyway, that's the core X-Men team, and this core X-Men book is a lot of fun. They're in Alaska. So
doing what?
So here's the thing. One of the chief places where they were making Sentinels was a master mold facility in Alaska. And in the Avengers, they went and blew that up for the X-Men in a crossover. And so the X-Men were like, that's cool of you. We're taking that. That's ours now. We need somewhere to live.
What Alaska-based villains and crimes are they resolving?
None. Well, actually, no, that's not true. They actually have Alaska-based things that they do, which is interesting because they actually do, like, they encounter the locals, and like there's a police officer who's trying to keep them in check and that kind of thing because they're X-Men. And the X-Men usually don't show up in Alaska. Surprise, surprise.
It's like Alaska's population isn't even 1 million people.
Nope. Exactly, right?
Spider-Man takes care of more people than they do.
Exactly. So with the core X-Men team, they have access to the Blackbird, and don't forget they have magic. So what magic usually does is when they need to go somewhere, she just opens up a big portal.
Yeah, okay.
They fly through it. So
sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Cheap rent. Yeah, okay, that's fair then.
Oh, I almost forgot. They have Quentin Quire on the team too. I love Kid Omega, pink hair guy.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Because he's awesome. They needed an Omega level like telepath, and he fit the bill, and he had nowhere else to go, so he joined the team. This is like the scratch.
Just really seems like it's a team of like, hey, we're scrappy ground fighters. Yep. Things aren't going well. Throw one of our 2 atomic weapons at them.
Yes. This is a very powerful team.
Hey, you guys might be escalating things too much, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, they have Kid Omega and Magneto, who are both Omega level mutants. Actually, I think it's been stated that Kid Omega is not technically an Omega level. It's a whole fucking weird thing. Who cares? But they have Kid Omega and like Magneto, who are like crazy powerful. Then Magic, who is also crazy powerful, and Juggernaut, who is also crazy powerful. And it comes to like Cyclops, who's like pretty powerful. And then like the rest of them are like mostly ground level. And then Glob and Zorn aren't doing anything. Glob is attending to the garden, and Zorn is essentially their like administrations officer and like psychologist. But I mean, like if he took his helmet off, he can just basically suck the planet into his face. But he's not going to do that because he likes where he lives. He's a good person. So,
Well, time dilation of a black hole kind of doesn't matter anyways.
That's true. It could have already happened. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the first, like that's the main X-Men book. Let's see. We have also, let's jump into NYX because I had such high hopes for NYX, and man, oh man.
Sorry, are you saying N or M?
NYX. So
like New York X-Men?
Yes, New York X, mutants, essentially. So back in 1999, there was a book that came out called NYX. And in this book was the original appearance of Laura Kinney, X-23. So she is back in this book, kind of taking up the Wolverine mantle. Wolverine is one of those characters who now has like 2 people as the character, and it's
Tristan. X-23 is a girl, so it would be Wolverine-ette.
Look,
we need to make sure that readers understand she's a lady.
As weird and sexist as that is, I wish they did something to differentiate between Wolverine and Wolverine. God, I just want something. Even if they just called him Wolverine Man, I don't know. I don't care. Just like, yeah, Wolverine's here. It's like, oh, which one? Oh, it's her. Like, oh, Wolverine's here. Oh, it's that guy. I hate that there are multiple characters with the exact same name running around, doing the exact same thing. I get it that like DC did it first with the Green Lanterns, and they're all technically Green Lantern, but like they all just have their own name. It's like Hal Jordan, it's etc. But when you have like Spider-Man's here, which of the fucking 40 Spider-Man is this? Which 2 Wolverines, etc. Which Nova is here? Because we have 2 or 3 Novas now. And it's like stop,
lame.
Stop. Anyway, this team, the NYX team, I had high hopes for NYX because I like NYX. The original iteration of it is essentially homeless mutants who are just trying to scrape by on the streets of New York. And they get into trouble with like the law and also with like, it's I don't want to say Jebediah State. That's not who it is, but like with the various anti-mutant league groups that are out there in the original book. And it's the same with this one, but we have Miss Marvel as the core character of this book. So this is where they put her.
Look.
Yep.
I realize the 2 states are next to each other. A lot of people who live in New Jersey travel into New York every day.
Yep.
But if your thing is going to be New York X-Men and one of your main people is from New Jersey, that just seems rude.
Maybe a little bit, yep. She does live there via, like, so she goes to like a similar like program as like Miles Morales does for like the gifted student stuff. Like pre-college kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's at least that. So she's doing that, and then also Sophie Cuckoo is here, like one of the 5 Cuckoo girls. So the Stepford Cuckoos are here via Sophie, but they're also in the book and like controlling Sophie. And it's a whole thing. Enole, who is basically a picture Beast Boy halfway through transformation into a lizard, and he's just stuck there. He's got like one big arm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like useful mutant power.
He's actually pretty good. He's got like a lot going for him. He's a good like ground level scrapper. So yeah, he's decent. And Enole's pretty good. You just need to, once you look at him, like he's got like nothing happening, but he secretes poison and stuff like that. He's fine. You got Laura Kinney, she's back, and you have Prodigy, who is essentially
Prodigy passed away, I believe, 2 years ago.
No, he died. You mean like the band Prodigy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Prodigy, the character. Prodigy is just simply, what do you think his power is, Hassan?
I mean, he's clearly a fire starter. Duh.
Twisted fire starter, yeah.
A sick and twisted fire starter, yeah.
No, he has ultra intelligence. He's just good at everything. As long as it involves him learning it. Prodigy's good. I actually like Prodigy a lot.
Yeah, we all love Smack My Bitch Up.
Yeah. Anyway, I get about 3 issues into NYX before I just ditch it because it's so dry. I can't even remember what happened in these 3 issues. It's not worth me talking about. I know for a fact that Sophie Cuckoo is still part of the Stepford Cuckoos, and they're working with Orcus for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. Even though the Cuckoos were like... The Cuckoos were essentially... they were Hellfire Club extraordinaire. Like they were in line to be the next White or Black Queens kind of thing, but they're all hive minds, so you know, except that their own, each one has their own personality. They can split off, but they usually work in tandem with each other, with 5 of them. And the Cuckoos, because the Hellfire Club existed, the Hellfire Club is like very much like your mutant supremacy kind of league. So the Cuckoos are usually in that vein of things, but for some reason they're working with Orcus. I don't know how that happened. I guess Nimrod kind of convinced them to do it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It made no real sense. by the time they revealed it, and then it had like 6 issues only, and they dropped it. So, enough said about that one, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have X-Force, which is not the worst book. I didn't particularly love what they were doing with it because it just didn't feel like they had any real direction. In fact, they were kind of stuck on the same island for like a long time. It's kind of they went back to like an island off of Krakoa and started kind of like trying to do some shit there, but it was so vague as to what they were trying to do. I couldn't follow anything.
Yeah,
they were fighting stuff. I know that much, but it was Jeffrey Thorne and Marcus 2. Jeffrey Thorne is the writer. Marcus 2 is the penciler. Marcus 2 is an amazing artist. So that was.
Sorry, can you spell that last name?
T.O.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was picturing it as like the number 2. Very confused.
I mean, we have some artists that would just.
Sorry, is this like because Marcus 2 sounds like an X-Men name?
Yeah. Anyway, so X-Force is being led by Forge.
Sure. Yeah, makes
Forge,
sense.
Yeah, Forge is awesome. Sage, who is his number 2. Sage's whole thing is also that she's very smart, like very, 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 very smart. And she kind of sees everything as like the Matrix.
Yeah, that's how being smart works.
Yeah. No, I mean, not really, but yeah, for her.
No. Let's be clear. Albert Einstein taught us definitely not how that works. That man was just too busy banging whoever he could.
Sure was. Especially, well, I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, Captain Britain, a.k.a. Betsy Braddock, is here, joining the team.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
I guess.
Yeah. She doesn't show up as Captain Britain, though. She's just as herself. Ascani, who is Rachel Summers, she takes a rocket name. I don't care.
Muad'Dib.
Yeah, Muad'Dib, sure. But she basically takes a rocket name, Ascani, just to kind of like show that grounding and that heritage, that roots. I like Rachel Summers a lot. She is fucked up. She's basically, what if Jean Grey went through some really bad shit in like the apocalypse, like the Age of Apocalypse world kind of thing. That's where she's from. Surge, who I like a lot, she's from the New Mutants from like the mid 2000s, and she's really cool. She basically has also like fire and ice powers, or is it electricity powers? She has electricity powers, and her whole thing is that she can't control that shit. So she has these 2 huge gauntlets made for her to focus her blasts and that sort of thing. And Tank, who's a brand new character, and Tank is a mystery. He might just be a robot that Forge made. We don't know.
I mean, we don't.
Yeah.
It's not hard to figure out if there's a person underneath electronics. At some point, they'll have to use the bathroom and eat.
He doesn't, though. We don't know.
Well, he's clearly a robot.
Or is he? I don't know.
Yeah. If it's a human in a suit, again, has to use the bathroom and eat.
Like, sometimes he disappears. We don't know where he goes. Anyway, Tank is what you imagine. He's just a kind of a guy in a robot suit, like punching stuff. It's okay. This book lost me when they killed off Surge, who was the best character they had in the team. At least the one I cared about the most. Surge is just a lot of fun. She's just, kind of like the only ray of sunshine in the entirety of the team, and they just were like, nah, murder her. Okay, I guess so. Yeah, I dropped that one. Then we have X Factor. Now, X Factor is interesting.
Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Katy Perry.
Really? Didn't know she was on that.
Christina Aguilera. One of
Really?
those singers, right? I think. Pharrell Williams.
Interesting cast.
Yeah. So that's your X Factor mutants.
Okay. Cool. So no. So it's weird because X Factor's whole thing in this is the original X Factor. Well, harkening back to the original X Factor, which was one of the X-Men but they were a reality show. So it's funny you mentioned exactly that. So the original team is Angel, Fire Fist, Feral, Zyber, and Cameo. Now these are all, so basically they are being led by Angel to do, X-Men stuff, but for profit. And, Fire Fist is whatever. Feral is essentially Wolfsbane, but worse. And Zyber is not worth mentioning, to be honest. The team is whatever. And then once the majority of that team is killed off, except for Angel, they need a replacement, so they call in Havoc, Alex Summers.
Okay, all right.
And he is then joined by Frenzy, who is on yet another large black lady who punches things. We didn't have a lot of those in the X-Men. Whatever. She's okay. I actually like Frenzy a lot. Cecilia Reyes, Pyro, and Granny Smite. Which is her first appearance,
okay.
Yes. This is the new character they decided to come up with. So Granny Smite. And this book is written by Mark Russell with pencil by Bob Quinn. It also has supporting characters in there, but notably Polaris, who I like a lot, but they don't use Polaris a whole lot. She is Havoc's girlfriend in this, and they use her that way. And I wish Polaris had her own, well, not her own team. It was on a team instead. Anyway, Granny Smite is a lot of fun, and the only reason to read X Factor. I mean, it's a decent book on its own, and Pyro is a lot of fun too. But Granny Smite is the best part because she is an old woman who awoken to her X-Men powers way too late in her life, and her power is true immortality.
Like, what do you mean by true?
Like, she cannot die. At all.
But can she still continue to age?
No, she stopped aging.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
because
that'd be a problem.
She got to like 79 or 80 or so and stopped aging.
Ugh.
Yeah. Stopped aging. And it was perfectly immortal. And her whole thing is,
I'd rather be dead.
Yeah, she does. She wishes she was. That's her whole shtick.
Okay.
Her main thing is that she throws herself into every horrible, dangerous mission just to see if she'll die. Just in case.
It's going to cause some psychological damage to some of the people they fight,
It does, actually.
She was like my grandma.
Yeah.
She just kept coming at me. I had to keep shooting. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. There are times where she'll just be walking into a hail of gunfire, and the Orcus members or whoever they're fighting are like, "Oh, I just killed this old lady. Oh my God." And here's her mangled corpse on the floor, and she's kind of gets back up. Like, oh Jesus, kill her again. Yeah, Granny Smite is the best part of the book because she goes into everything. I wish I was dead, dear. Huh? Maybe someday, maybe today's the day I'll die. Kind of thing. Yeah, she's good. Pyro's a lot of fun too in this book, so there's still also that worth reading. Pyro kind of came over from the Marauders from the Krakoa era, and kept them the exact same way. So just to give you a little Pyro update, so in the Marauders in the Krakoa era, he joined the Pirates, the pirate team, and they're like, "Oh man, we can just be resurrected." He's like, "Oh really? I'm gonna do something stupid, guys. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a skull tattooed on my face." I'm like, that's hilarious, Pyro. It's a good idea. And then it doesn't matter because I'll die and this won't travel with me. And it's yeah, you know what? Good idea. Oh yeah, you just throw yourself into more danger and you'll probably die, Pyro. We get it and you'll be resurrected. Yeah, no problem. You're part of a core team. We'll resurrect you pretty quickly. Yeah, perfect. And he never dies. He gets the tattoo, and he's the only one who has never died in that team. It's just I fucking lived. So he rolls into the X Factor book, still with the tattoo on his face, and he's just what? Back into a team where he's trying to die, where we could die. High mortality rate team. and they're like, look, we need you to live more, so get the tattoo black, like taken off, like laser removed kind of thing. So they got him to remove the tattoo, but he still has like some scarring, which is too bad. There's a tattoo. I fucking love that tattoo. It's so awful. Yeah, so X Factor's a lot of fun. I only read it for like a few issues. It's just like a good like thing of the week book where they have a brand new problem to solve each time. Episodic. Just get in.
No, we're all familiar with how X Factor works. Ryan Seacrest introduces the person.
Yeah.
So that now I might be confusing American Idol and X Factor, but
you might be.
I think they're mostly the same thing, anyways. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. 1 second here. So, yeah, that's X Factor, and they're a lot of, it's like I said, it's a fun book. Recommend that one for just like a good, at least like for a quick stint, you know. I'm trying to find the Uncanny X-Men book that I wanted to talk about next. That's not good. Oh well. So, we'll get there, I guess. We'll just go with Exceptional X-Men first. So it's Exceptional X-Men is the last 2 books here I'm going to talk about are the best ones in like the new run of this.
Okay.
Exceptional X-Men is written by Eve Ewing and drawn by Carmen Carnero. And what they have done is they made a very good slow burn book. This is what NYX wishes it could have been. So they have Kitty Pryde, who's going back to being called Kitty Pryde because they realized changing her name back to Kate Pryde was, her reasoning was all fucking weird, and like, yeah, bring her back to Kitty Pryde because like this is a fun name. Hell with it. That's what she's known by, so iconic. So it's Kitty Pryde, and eventually, Emma Frost are leading this team. Yep. More so as mentors. And Iceman is sometimes there too. Only sometimes though. They're leading the new, like 3 new mutants to try and like establish them, or at least get them up to snuff with their X-Men powers, with their mutant powers. Because they start off pretty, like they're pretty strong, but they cannot control their shit at all. So they have, oh, there we go. So they have Tao Tran, who her whole thing is that she is a field hockey star in her high school, and these 3 all come from the same high school, and she's like,
sorry, high school where?
In New York somewhere.
A star while playing field hockey in North America.
Or football. I mean, not football, but like, soccer.
Okay, that I believe. You're trying to tell me there's a high school in North America with a field hockey star? That's some real, like...
Soccer. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Give me there. I couldn't remember what she played. It's like she's huge. That's the thing.
She's like, did aliens write this book? They're like, yes, the humans love the field hockey.
I mean, field hockey's a thing in some upstate like New York schools. So
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so Tao Tran, who is Vietnamese descent, like I said, she's pretty big. Like she actually is like 6 foot tall, muscular, like just a big beefy lady. And she has the power of intangibility, the exact same as Kitty Pryde does. Like, exact same. So, it's kind of a fun pairing. The next one is Alejandro Luna, or Alex Luna. He is the strangest looking of them all. He has green skin and red eyes. And he is also a pretty big dude. Like, he's the same size as Tao. But his whole thing is he has emotional perception powers, and like he kind of manipulate those things. It's mostly used as like a sensory, like he can find people really easily. Yeah, his power is not the most useful up front. It's one of those, like, it has to have situational properties to it. But he actually has the ability to like force truths out of people, so at least he has that going for him. And he also can somewhat read their minds.
That doesn't. Those sound like bad guy powers.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like the X-Men have always had people like that in the teams, though. Where like if you look at like Jean Grey, who is a good guy X-Men, right? Her main thing is telepathy and telekinesis, and sometimes she goes into people's minds and burns them. Like, but we don't consider her like a total monster.
Yeah, there's something about just, my powers are emotional manipulation. It's like, are you just Purple Man? Cause
yeah, like I get it. And that's kind of what I thought when I first read him. But like I think the main thing is like what you do with the powers. I mean, My Hero Academia has a character like this in it as well, where it has a guy who has bad guy powers like this, and his whole thing is like, I'm getting labeled as a bad guy and a bad person because I have like mind control powers and stuff, but I want to use them for good. like I want to use them to like tell a bad guy to go and put himself in prison. What's so wrong? I caught him in the act. He's stealing stuff. Go to jail, sir. And then he does it. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's definitely bad guy stuff.
Yeah, but it's hard to make those powers, like hard to give those powers to somebody who is actually a good person, and Alex is a good person. That's his main thing, is like he is a super nice guy, and he wants to do good, but he just doesn't. He's wrestling with the fact that his powers are designed to be a villain's like strong suit. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of gives him like an interesting dynamic. And then the final one is Trista Marshall, and her alias is Bronze. Think Colossus, but bronze skin, and she can kind of like make weird, crazy bronze tendrils.
Okay, up until the tendril part, I was gonna say that's not a particularly good power. It's like, ooh, I have bronze skin. It's like, yeah, bullet can pierce through bronze, so like, yeah, nothing, but actual fight, still kind of easy to have you go down.
Yeah, she still has the superhuman strength and stuff like that too, because as you would in that kind of, I mean, like I said, like Colossus. But she can also mimic other metals. Yeah. Yeah, apparently, like, according to like, what's written in the books as well, like, it's roughly as strong as adamantium. Like, just because she's manipulating it to be stronger. So, she's got a leg up. She's not totally useless, and her power is quite good. Her, as a character, is more so, she's kind of like a massive, like, Garu Weeaboo kind of girl.
Oh.
Yeah. So some would call her cringe, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
I don't mind her. She's all right, but like I'm yeah, she's got to grow on you. I got to say. It took me a while to like her. But eventually I got there and she's like, okay, you know what? She's pretty cool. Yeah. But the cool thing with Exceptional X-Men is that this is a slow burn book. These characters don't show up until issue like 3. Because the first 2 issues are about Kitty Pryde has fucking quit. Screw the X-Men. She's done. She's going to go on dates and 10 bars and just live her life as a normal civilian. And then eventually it all trickles back in and she can't get away from it. and that's the main crux of the story. And then Emma Frost shows up, and she's like, "We're reforming an X-Men team." She's like, "No, fuck you, Emma Frost. I'm out." I walked away. I killed so many people for Krakoa. Fuck that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the final book that I want to talk about is Uncanny X-Men. Written by Gail Simone with art with David Marquez. This is, in my opinion, if you're going to read any comic from this current stage of the X-Men, it's this one.
Okay.
And like,
who are our X-Men?
Hassan. It's this is the original Uncanny team, kind of. So you got Rogue, who's the leader. You got Gambit, her husband.
Okay.
Wolverine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, going all-star cast.
Yeah, like Logan Wolverine.
Yeah.
And your favorite, Jubilee.
One of these is not like the other, huh?
Well, this is supposed to be them harkening back to the X-Men cartoon.
It's like you just imagine that they are coming in like a rocket strike, and then it's like, and Jubilee, and you're like, little girl, are you lost?
So Jubilee's in her 30s now. They've aged her quite a bit since then, because they wanted to make sure, because there are new characters in this book as well to round out the cast, and to do so, they brought in some pretty interesting characters. And I think these are the best ones that they've introduced out of any of these books. The Exceptional X-Men cast is pretty good, not going to lie. But these ones are pretty cool. So they refer to themselves kind of like as the outliers, because they are the X-Men characters that nobody really wanted, because they don't really know where their powers fit in.
Gambit?
No. These new ones.
Oh, yeah. You did? Okay. All right. I'm very confused.
Yeah.
It's like, Wolverine and Rogue I could see, but Gambit? No, people love that guy.
Everybody loves Gambit. Yeah. So you have Hotaru, a.k.a. Death Dream. He is... I don't know how to... He is also kind of effectively immortal. He is just not alive at all.
Like a zombie?
Yeah, essentially. Like he's
right.
like an undead, like, creature of the dark. He has necromancy. He can manipulate your soul. He flies. He resurrects.
Oh, a lich. He's
a lich, yeah, essentially.
Okay, all right, yeah, I can see how he doesn't fit in elsewhere, and people get creeped out by him.
Yeah, exactly. They're weirded out by him. Sophia Young, who goes by Jitter. Jitter's really cool. She has a really bad stutter, except for when she's using her powers and she focuses it. But her power is hyper focus. It's kind of hard to describe.
Tristan, did they just make a X-Men whose power is extreme ADHD?
Yes. Yes, they did.
What do you want? Next one.
No, we have to go into this a little bit. So basically, when she hyper-focuses, when she hyper-focuses, she's like Olympic level athletic kind of stuff, if not higher. Yeah, like she's actually really cool. It's just like she only focused for like a minute at a time.
Did Tumblr create this character?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, she's also one of the better characters in the story. So. Out of all these. Well, actually, you know what? They're all really good. We have Valentin Correa, a.k.a. Ransom. Ransom's whole thing is he absorbs energy, but he's got superhuman strength, durability, yada, yada, yada. He's the only one of them that wears like a mask. He's got kind of a cool, like, mismatched suit situation. He has like a weird, like, eclipse on his shirt, and then like just a hanging, like oh, what's his name? From Wildstorm. Oh my god. It's going to drive me insane. Grifter. He's got Grifter's mask. It's like drapes down. He's got the two eye holes in it with like the hair up top. Yeah, he's just like he looks like Grifter, and he basically just punches guys, and he's a big tough dude. Not much to say about that, but he's actually pretty cool. Like, he's just, I don't know, he hangs. And you also have Becca Simon Panette, aka Calico, and her horse Ember. Calico's powers. Can you guess what Calico's powers are, Hassan? I couldn't.
9 lives.
Nope.
I don't know then.
Cats aren't the only thing called calicos. So she has weird psychokinesis. How do I put this? She's a horse girl. Like, she rides a horse, and she comes from like a really rich family. And her thing is that she can manipulate her horse, and she can do so to other things as well, and herself. She's telepathy. She can summon stuff. She has like mind linkages, all that stuff. But her main thing is she can bestow powers upon people, places, or things, or in this case specifically, her fucking horse.
So is she just Barbie?
In a way, yes.
Okay, all right.
That's kind of the point of her. She comes from a very rich family. She is like a blonde girl.
No, look, I watched that Ted Nevison video. I know all about the interconnected hive mind spanning across galaxies to turn Barbie into a god. Trust me, I'm very familiar with it, and I also hate Bibble.
Great. Anyway, so yeah, she can control her horse to a degree where she can give it armor, guns. She can like make it flaming. She can then like ride the horse into battle like as a big flaming fucking angel knight thing.
Does she do the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing where she just goes, "Do it," and then the horse will poop?
Hasn't happened yet. But
nah.
I would not.
Metal Gear Solid 5 still better then.
Hold on, I would not put it past Gail Simone.
Okay,
I'm just saying. She plays
as it stands right now, Metal Gear Solid 5 better.
Yeah, fair enough. So far, the horse has not shit on anybody. It has definitely kicked a lot of people in the face, though. From like the front, that's the weird thing. So
that's just normal horses.
Well, no. Do you know how a horse will kick from the back? This thing is kicked
from front too.
From the front, like a fucking ninja. This gets wild. Like, her powers make this thing insane, and like this is like the best entry as far as like all these new characters goes. And of all of them they made, Calico is by far the most interesting, weirdest character, and bless them for it. Like, very inspired, very, very inspired. Like, what if this horse girl manipulated the horse into being this super ultra being of power? Hell yeah. She also has the best plot line out of these, where Calico's whole thing is like she's from a very racist family, a very like anti-mutant family, who tried to like hide and stomp down her mutant powers for a long time. And then she ran away with her horse and found the X-Men, Young Handy X-Men in Louisiana. And she's like, "Oh, you're kind of like me, but like I'm not a mutant, so like that's crazy. I just got some powers though." But then they're like, "No, honey, you're a mutant." She's like, "No, I'm not. Let's have friends though."
More so, like she ran away with her horse. Like, that's a thing in the 2020s you can easily do, you know? Like, there's just a person riding around with their horse. That's not super noticeable and unusual. Basically everywhere's,
No, it's fine.
Across the nation.
But yeah, she has this reconciling eventually where she's like, she realizes that she is a mutant, and like, now, like, she flips the switch from like, I'm totally not a mutant and I hate them all, to I'm the best mutant ever.
How does she know she's a mutant though?
Oh, they test her and they tell her like,
okay,
you are a mutant. Like, yeah,
you got the okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if her family was like that, they could have just said, "No, you're just a superhero in general."
Yeah, that's kind of what they told her,
right?
Yeah. They essentially went like, "Oh, you just got superpowers, honey. Don't worry about that." It's not until like when Nightcrawler eventually joins this team, because Nightcrawler joins this team and that it makes this team even better. That he's just like, no, I'm pretty sure you're a mutant because of blah 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 blah, and like also your parents are hiding this from you. Also, I found your birth records. Here you go. So we can just find that because we're X-Men. Why not?
That's a HIPAA violation. They should not be doing that.
I don't think the X-Men really care about HIPAA, to be honest.
They should. That's problematic if they don't, because then the government doesn't have to, and it can just start using their records against them.
Yeah, I know, right? It doesn't... whatever. Anyway, yeah, so this team is like... The Uncanny X-Men team is by far the best team they've put together for this new era of X-Men. To a point where like it feels like what you're doing is reading a story about the X-Men 97 team, but like before all that, with like a few different characters. And yeah, if there's going to be any one of these books you should read, it's Uncanny X-Men. It is fun. It has the best characters so far, the best plot lines. It also is like an actual team of good guys. So where Exceptional X-Men is like it's trying to train these three up and coming characters into being X-Men, but they're not really sure where they're going to stand, and like there's a lot of like it's more of a drama book. That's fine. And the core X-Men book is stuck in the gray, trying to basically toe the line between like we're going to do bad things but for good reasons. Uncanny X-Men is led by Rogue, who her core thing is like, okay, Professor X, yeah, he was wrong, and he tried to kill a lot of people, and he sucks. We hate him. But what he taught us, the core principle of love your fellow person, be kind to people, save lives, do your best. That's our core. That's our key principle. We are sticking to that. And like when they go into fights and battles, that kind of stuff, like this is the team that does not kill people. Ever. If it happens, it's by accident. And they have Wolverine. And they have Wolverine on the team, who is well known for killing dudes. And he's like... To
be fair, his mutant power is blade hand, you know.
Yeah, right?
Hard not to kill with those.
Right? He's got like one move, and it's kill a guy. And he understands that, but it's to a point where like he believes so hardcore into Rogue's whole thing that he's just like, I'm with you, darling. Like, no killing. I'm good. You got it.
Does that mean, I'll just gently stab the people.
Yeah. He'll like cut guns and shit, you know.
All right, yeah, I guess.
Unless you jump over to the Wolverine book where he is murdering dudes wholesale. I mean, just saying. Yeah, and there are, of course, the solo books. I'm not going to get too far into the weeds with those, but I have been reading the Phoenix book, and that's been really good. Because it's just a good science fiction book. It's essentially Jean Grey is on vacation in space and just doesn't have a chance to go on vacation. Like, she just wants some quiet time, but can't have it because she is the Phoenix. And therefore, she hears all of the universe and must go over there and save these people. Go over here and stop this from happening. Go over there, save a cat from a tree, that kind of thing. So, it's a good, like, what if the Phoenix was a, like, proper superhero, but also, like, this crazy god that everybody fears. So, yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, The Phoenix is a pretty good book. It's interesting more than it is fun or well written. But the premise of it is good enough to kind of like keep it going. But yeah, that's where the X-Men are currently at with those core teams. There have been a bunch of spin-off books. They try to do a team of like Sentinel suit wearing guys who were the Sentinels. And that sucked. Dazzler, I mentioned, that sucked as well. There's been post-Krakoan era. they're throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, and not a lot of it is sticking. Like, it's like the 5 core-ish books, and then like a couple of those have just gotten canceled. So like, you know, yeah, we are.
Look, I'm not right. Like, MCU is gonna be messing with the X-Men for a while until they figure out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think that's the reason why they went back to basics with the X-Men and moved them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they're trying to pitch the X-Men movies that will be happening. I'm assuming pretty soon. Like, Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine just kind of prove that they're going to be doing these at some point, and like that's good and all. But it does mean that we are now, like I said, back to basics on the X-Men, and they just feel like old X-Men books to a degree. But it's kind of like they're just a facsimile of those old X-Men books and not actually those old books. They're close enough, and these are good stories. I would especially say X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, and Uncanny X-Men are good. Like, I am reading those and enjoying these stories. But I mean, like, I really enjoyed like the Krakoan era, like grayscale. Everything is kind of up in the air as far as what to do because we're just in survival mode. We're trying to build a country. This is a new idea of the X-Men, and let's see what happens. And the fact that they have totally just wiped that clean, and you know we still get snippets of it here or there in these books. It still does. It just doesn't feel right. Like these are good X-Men books, but at the same time these are basic X-Men books. And that's kind of where I'm at with these stories are.
Yeah, well, the way that they just have to fix it is they kind of come up with these red and yellow balls, and then you toss them, and then the X-Men go inside them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Calico, Jitter, Ransom, Temper, Magic, Juggernaut, Cyclops, Bronze, and Kitty, Pride, Miss Marvel, Phoenix, Iceman, Beast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. That works.
Gotta catch 'em all. X-Men.
Yeah. Great. Any other thoughts, or do you want to tell people where to find us?
I have no thoughts. No, like I said, these books are pretty good. Go seek out the ones I mentioned. And then, I mean, just like all comics, like read what you want, enjoy them. But I mean, like, not everything is all, hunky dory in the X-Men books of these days. And yeah, I just kind of wish they were back in Krakoa, which a lot of people didn't like them, but I did. And the majority of people actually enjoy the Krakoan stuff over like the people who didn't, because it just felt more alive and interesting. Either way, it's gone now. Move on, I guess. Anyway, you can go to our Blue Sky account, which is at EAFNAR. Go there and you can yell at me and Hassan and our account in general about how much you like, I don't know, Strong Guy.
Hell yeah. I'll talk about Strong Guy all day.
Strong Guy's really good. I like Strong Guy.
Custom hair is the best.
A little tuft of hair, just like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect design.
The red glasses, little like beady eye glasses. The giant body, the little legs. They've since actually like kind of more met him in the middle, where his legs aren't as short.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Get out of here. That doesn't make sense.
I agree. Yeah. Also go to our Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube channel and rate us something, leave reviews. Click the subscribe button and then the like button in that order if you want to. If you really want to, it would be a huge favor to me if you were to, like, I don't know, just like push over your local like Orcus member, perhaps onto a knife.
Can I just push over Orko instead?
No.
Oh.
He's floating.
I could still shove him to the ground.
You could try. I don't think you'd succeed though.
He seems kind of easy to win in a fight.
I don't think so. He's a magician.
Yeah, he's a coward.
Yeah, but he's also a wizard.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you should also go to our friends over at djdane.com. It's got those music. djdane.com. Go there. Go listen to those great tunes. And you know what? If you develop X-Men powers later on in life, and like let's say your 70s or 80s, perhaps throw yourself into danger ad nauseum and see if you'll die.
What else are you gonna do?
Just in case. Yep. Anyway, that's it for our show. Tune in next time for another Echograms episode of Everything is Fine with Ruined. See ya.
See ya.
Say it.